James Sharman.
He's not a fraud?
He is not. He is not a fraud.
I'm not the fraud, no.
He is not the
right.
fraud. Normally, James, we invite you in after an England loss.
I know. I'm amazed by this.
And about halfway through those penalties, I thought you were coming in
Me too.
after another England loss.
I love you, Deej, but I wish Sid was here just to experience me being happy for once.
Yes.
You know,
normally it is
it's
despair.
so refreshing.
Yeah.
But wait, you see Eric Dyer step up
Yeah, I
to
know.
the spot. No Vardy, no Lingard, and you think what at that moment?
Well, I think Dyer's actually pretty good from the spot, but he hadn't played well since coming on. He's lost his starting spot in the team the last number of months, so I'm thinking he's going to miss 100%. He's going to miss. It's England; they don't win shootouts. He will be the dog this time around, but he scored a great penalty, and then Pickford with a great save. So I don't know how to feel right now, to be honest with you. It's just a strange territory I found myself in. I'll take it.
Yeah.
But I didn't enjoy that match one bit.
No, it almost seemed as though Colombia created the chaos and then thrived within the chaos.
They're
that they
so
had
good at it
created.
too, yeah. I mean, I'm upset by them because they are a really good footballing team, and we saw that late in the match. They can pass the ball around well. They were missing James, but they went out there to try and unsettle England, which I didn't think they needed to really do. They could outplay England in some facets of the game, I thought, but they went to the dark arts. It wasn't fun to watch. It was nasty. The referee at times, I thought, lost the game as well.
Yeah.
He could have handed out red cards, but he didn't. But in the end, Colombia, they scored the late goal, and I thought, well, there goes a chance for England. You know, mentally they're fragile. We know that, or we thought they were. But it's a new England team nowadays, a new manager, new young players, and new hope for the future.
So let me ask you this, because I go back to the Washington Capitals scoring a lucky-ass goal in double overtime to beat the Columbus Blue Jackets down 2-0, and I thought, well, that's the bounce that this team that forever had perennially just underperformed when it came to the playoffs. That could be the start they needed. England winning in penalties, I mean, I might have said that about Belgium too, who were down 2-0 and finally, but they're on a tougher side of the bracket. For England, like this has to be, if you were to lay down what the tournament could be, this would be the dream right now.
I would say even going back to that first match against Tunisia, when they score very late, right?
Yeah.
And they don't do that, this team. And they then destroy Panama, and then Southgate, the manager, arrests players for that Belgium game, and all the naysayers, oh, you can't do that. What about momentum? He says, no, just trust me. Fresh legs, and it paid off in the end. So you're right, it's a very fortunate draw. That is true. But Sweden, I tell you, they're a tough team to beat, and there's still Croatia in that half too, and I love Croatia. They're a fantastic team, so it is the weaker of the two halves.
But if you laid it down, be honest. Like, I know you don't want to jinx anything. Be honest. Like, this is a dream. Two guys on the side of the table both support England. You can, like, this is a
listen,
dream.
if you told us before the tournament, quarterfinals, we would have said that's great. Great way to enjoy it. And you're playing Sweden.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So,
and I don't have to think back. I know I sat on this desk when Sixero went after Italy, after Sweden beat Italy to knock them out of the World Cup draw. But I would say that this has got to be a dream for any English supporter at this time.
It really has. And I think, you know, we've forgotten now about the past somewhat, all those heartbreaks on penalty shootouts. It's also a very likeable team now. Previous England teams had the egos, the superstars. The wags were more famous than the players. I couldn't name you one wag right now. You know, I really couldn't. Could you?
No.
No, right? That's great. This is a likable team. Regular guys, you know, obviously highly paid, very good players, their teams. But for once, it's a team I want to see do well. You know, not just my heart talking, but actually they're a good bunch of guys who play for each other. Harry Kane, average-looking dude. But what a player, right? You know, this is England that's hung its hat on models before, and they haven't come through.
Every time he has the captaincy, he finds a way to score. How much of this today was about the manager, Gareth Southgate? In the back pages, because he didn't play a real side to end the group stage against Belgium. Evidently, because they won, he got it right. But he's a guy who's missed penalties himself. He's gone to World Cups and hasn't played because of Sven-Goran Eriksson himself. How much is this about him and his mentality?
I think it's a huge part. You know, he has that team playing for him, for each other, and with penalties, you're right. Euro '96, he was the GOAT, right? He was the man that missed that kick against Germany. Yes, thanks Tim. He was the man, but he understands, and he said before this tournament, you know, penalties are not a lottery. It's about skill and dealing with pressure. And he made these players every training session take penalties. We will be ready for a shootout. And we all laugh saying, yeah, still England. But it's paid off. I think Southgate's a huge part of who this team is, their identity, and their likability as well.
All right, so who's the favorite Who is the favorite moving forward now that we know the quarterfinalists?
It's got to be Brazil. I
Yeah.
mean, they're the best team at the moment. There's no doubt about it. They're so balanced, superb defensively. Going forward, we can laugh at Neymar's antics, but boy, he's playing really well once again now. Coutinho's maybe the player of the tournament thus far. I would say it's going to be Brazil. France still haven't reached the top just yet. I think they can. Uruguay are frightening. And like I said, Croatia. I would not be surprised if Croatia win this thing. I think they could be that good.
Right.
He mentioned France, a side that you love. I love to watch them. Do we know what their best formation is yet?
Deschamps doesn't know what their best formation is.
Yeah.
The manager. No, don't know. Griezmann looked better last game, I thought. You know, obviously being very slow. Can he play in the same team as Paul Pogba? He must be able to. Right? It makes no sense that he can't. I think since they brought Giroud in up top, they've looked better. There's more shape to them. They're more organised. So I don't know what their best 11 is, what their best formation is, but they have the talent there. I think they can, get Uruguay's scalp if it all goes right, and then a semi-final against maybe Brazil or Belgium. That would be juicy.
Were you surprised that we entered this week, and I know it was a topic kind of for yesterday, but that we only have about 90 seconds left, that we started this week without Ronaldo, without Messi?
Mm-hmm. Am I surprised? Not that surprised, given that Argentina had those question marks about them before the tournament began. Portugal, I always thought was quite average. It all came together for them at Euro, but if it's not Ronaldo scoring goals, who's scoring goals? So, and frankly, the World Cup hasn't missed them. There's great young players. Mbappe has been, probably the face of the tournament so far. I think it's probably fair to say he's been wonderful. We're seeing kids today looking really good. So, are we missing Italy? Are we missing the Dutch? No, we don't. The World Cup transcends teams and players once it starts.
Before we let him go, finish the sentence. VAR is?
Okay.
Oh, okay.
And I hated it before. I thought it was going to be a disaster at this World Cup, but it's been maybe outside of Mbappe, it's been the star player.
Yeah. I feel like the one thing that they've done is they're now whispering in the ear way more often than going to the unit to go, well, I think FIFA said stop going to the unit. We're going to tell you what we think and then make your decision.
It's that, or like in hockey, the calls go away in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because it's been so quiet, hasn't it, in the knockout round so far? Whereas every game in the round robin format, it was being called. So either they're improving on it or they just haven't quite got the guts.
Portugal, Iran, we had 4 in that game alone.
Yeah, where you just went to and we haven't seen anyone walk to that system.
Although today, for example, there's the headbutt.
Yeah.
Which was called for a yellow card, and if you're going to give a yellow for that, it probably should have been a red. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that was VAR talking to the ref because the ref didn't see it at the time.
Without a doubt, he wasn't looking at all.
That was a strange one. So it's not perfect, it's not going anywhere, and it's going to get better.
They were talking in the ear. James Sharman, always a pleasure. And this time, after an England win.
Thank you, pal. Maybe see you July 15th.
Let's not get too far ahead of ourselves.
It's a Sunday, you won't be here.
Knock on wood.